can ask in the chat. Okay, so we were talking about the role of hypothalamus as an endocrine gland. So it releases six different type of hormones. Thyrotropin releasing hormone. This TRH, you should know its full form. Thyrotropin releasing hormone. When it releases this hormone, it causes the thyroid gland to be activated. Thyroid gland cannot be activated unless the hypothalamus do not release it. Okay. Then the second hormone it releases is the gonadotropin releasing hormone. In biology, gonad refer to a general word for reproductive organ. So whether in male or a female, hypothalamus release gonadotropin releasing hormone. When this hormone is released, it triggers the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone to manage reproductive health. These are the two reproductive hormones. They cannot be triggered, they cannot be released from the pituitary gland unless the gonadotropin release hormone is not released from hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is playing a very, very important role. The next is CRH, is corticotropin releasing hormone. It initiates the body stress response by triggering uh, ACTH release. Basically, corticotropin releasing hormone is linked with these stress responses. This GHRH is growth hormone releasing hormone. It stimulates the release of growth hormone. Then somatotropins, it inhibits the release of growth hormone uh, and TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone. We discussed it earlier that there is a certain concentration of particular hormone is released. Once the hormone job is done, it has to be inhibited. So somatostatin, uh, statin is playing a very important role. If growth hormone is released, it has to be inhibited. Once this somatostatin is released, it will cause the excess growth hormone to be stopped, or it will cause the thyroid stimulating hormone to be stopped. So the person do not become extensively grown. Then the next one is dopamine. Previously, we discussed the dopamine as a neurotransmitter. Here we are discussing dopamine as a hormone. So dopamine act as an inhibitor and stop the production of prolactin. Prolactin is basically a hormone released from a pituitary gland. It causes the uh, 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 formation of milk from the mammary gland. So, uh, for example, lactation is a process. Milk has to be produced from the mammary gland, but at a certain time it has to be stopped. So, what caused its production to be stopped? It is the dopamine. This is something we need to understand, that hypothalamus is not only act as a part of nervous system, it is equally playing an important role as an endocrine system. The next gland that is part of syllabus is the pituitary gland. Pituitary gland is located at the base of the brain. If we observe the diagram, so here comes the pituitary gland, and above it was the hypothalamus. This pituitary gland is considered as a very important gland. It does not only produce one hormone, it is uh, it is not only producing hormone, but if it is not producing enough amount of hormone, this is known as hypopituitarism. like if the hormone concentration is not sufficient. And this hypothalamus is actually, if sorry, this pituitary gland is actually divided into two lobes. Like if I draw the enlarged view of this diagram, if there is any question, I discuss it shortly. If this is the structure of pituitary gland, so pituitary gland is actually divided into two lobes, the anterior lobe and the posterior lobe. Like it has one anterior part and it has one posterior part. In biology, anterior means something that is in the front and posterior means something at the back. So pituitary gland is divided into two lobes. What are these lobes and their their roles? Anterior pituitary lobe, hypophysis. It releases seven different type of hormone: growth hormone, prolactin hormone, thyrotropin hormone, adrenocorticotropin hormone, follicular stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone, and beta liptotropin. There are seven different hormone released from it. Uh, posterior pituitary gland is responsible for production of arginine or vasopressin. It is responsible for the release of oxytocin hormone and antidiuretic hormone. Vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone, they are linked with the process of excretion. Okay. One thing to remember, if examiner asks you the role of pituitary gland from anterior lobe, so you are not allowed to write the names of the hormones that are released from the posterior lobe. Anterior lobe hormones will be named in the same way. Like you cannot jumble up or mix up the name of the hormone from anterior and posterior lobe. Now, growth hormone, it as the name suggests, that it stimulates the growth of the bones. And this particular hormone, if it is not in sufficient amount, it will cause the growth failure, and the proper body fat or muscle mass will not be maintained. So sometimes when we can observe, we can witness that a child is not growing. So sometimes doctors suggest to have to undergo the hormone profile and test that whether the hormones are produced in enough quantity or not. uh, because these hormones can be regulated by medication. Number two is thyroid stimulating hormone. Again, remember, if short form is given, you should be able to say its abbreviation. Mm, hy- Thyroid stimulating hormone, it stimulates the thyroid gland to produce thyroid hormone, and lack of this hormone will cause hypothyroidism. Like thyroid gland will not produce enough amount of secretion. Now the next one is adrenocorticotropin hormone. It stimulates the adrenal gland to produce several steroid hormones. Luteinizing and follicle stimulating hormone, they are released from anterior lobe of pituitary gland, and they play a very important role in the sexual function. They cause follicle stimulating hormone is responsible for maturation of follicles. In female reproductive system, the egg start to mature from follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone is responsible for release of the egg from the ovary. So the two hormones are doing two different jobs. Follicle stimulating hormone, follicle is the other word for egg. So follicle stimulating hormone will cause the eggs to get mature, and luteinizing hormone will cause the eggs to release out of the ovary, so they are available for the process of fertilization. The other sex hormone, estrogen and progesterone and testosterone, they are produced from the ovary and the uh, testis. Okay, the next one is the prolactin. This particular hormone is responsible to stimulate the milk production in female. After the birth process, this pituitary gland anterior lobe is activated and cause the secretion of prolactin, which activate the mammary gland to produce milk secretion. Beta lipotropin, this is involved in lipid metabolism. uh, Obviously lipid is a chemical substance which break down to release energy. So um, when we discuss the endocrine system, we learned that it is needed for growth and metabolism. So here beta lipotropin, it causes the uh, fats to be broken down. As a result, free fatty acids are released for energy, and it is basically including the pain relieving and mood influencing hormone, uh, beta endorphin and beta melanocyte stimulating hormone. It is also linked with two other different hormones, beta endorphin and beta melanocyte. These two are linked with pain relieving and mood influencing hormone. Uh, in the previous slide, we discussed about follicle stimulating hormone. Here is a repetition of the same thing. Follicle stimulating hormone, it causes the eggs to get matured, and the same hormone is also acting in males. The follicle stimulating hormone in male cause the sperm production. Posterior lobe was producing three different hormones: antidiuretic hormone vasopressin, and if we recall the names, it was vasopressin or antidiuretic hormone. So we are not doing them separately, we are doing it all together. Antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin, it controls the water loss by the kidney. Let's suppose it's a very hot day where we are continuously consuming water, but we are continuously sweating. So what do you think? Does the body need to retain the water? It has to lose the water in the form of urine. What should be the ideal way to maintain the body metabolism? If it is a very hot day and we are continuously sweating, the water loss is continuously happening from the body. So should the body retain water or should the body lose water in the form of urine? Hello? What
Yes,
what
miss.
what should the body do to maintain the blood water potential? If we are continuously sweating,
It should retain the water, no?
it should
So there
retain the
will
water.
be
So anti-diuretic hormone, when we are in such situation, suppose we are fasting, suppose we are in such environment that is quite hot. So in that case, anti-diuretic hormone um, uh, concentration will cause the kidney tubules to reabsorb a lot of water. But on contrary, in winters we notice that we are not sweating, and although we are not consuming a lot of water, but as we are not sweating, so blood has a lot of water with it. So you might have noticed that in winters we pee frequently. What is the reason? Be- because the water is not lost from the in the form of sweat, so the water is lost in the form of urine, right? So anti-diuretic hormone concentration increase or decrease to maintain the blood water potential. right? The next one is the oxytocin. This particular hormone at the time of vaginal birth, at the time of reproduction, oxytocin is released from the posterior pituitary lobe, and it causes the uterus to contract, and the contraction are strong enough, so the childbirth is facilitated and the fetus is moved out of the vagina. And it is serving two purposes. Number one, it caused the uterus to contract, which facilitate the process of childbirth, and obviously after the birth of the child, the milk production has to be stimulated because it is the only source of food for the for the born baby. So oxytocin second job, once the oxytocin release, it stimulate the milk production the by the mammary gland. So this is something we need to understand, that hormones are not only doing a specific job, they are doing the job at the time when they are required, and they are facilitating the other functions to happen simultaneously. Okay, and see the sequence how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the body, that how the nature has drafted the body in a way that the childbirth is facilitated first, and then the process of lactation is being facilitated. Okay, so up till now we have discussed two of the parts of endocrine system. We did hypothalamus, we have done the uh, pituitary gland. The next is thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is located at the lower part of the neck. This butterfly shaped structure, right? This is the thyroid gland, and this thyroid gland, this thyroid gland produce two different type of factor. One is T4, the other is T3. It's a ratio of 90% to 10%. uh, what do the secretions affect? How do they regulate the body function? It affect the growth and maturation of the tissues, cells. It affect the metabolism. It affect the heat production, oxygen consumption. You can understand that when we respire, we release heat energy. So our uh, when we touch our dead body, it appears to be colder. Why? Because the process of respiration is stopped. The release of heat has been stopped. So thyroid gland is linked with heat production and oxygen consumption, because when we are consuming oxygen, we are performing respiration and releasing heat energy, which help to maintain our body temperature. It also play an important role in growth and development. Okay, now you must be worried about there are so many function of one particular hormone and how can we learn all of them. So I would suggest that uh, learn at least 2 till 3 major functions of each hormone. For example, um, if I have a look at thyroid gland, so I can realize that it is playing an important role in growth and development of brain and nervous system in children. It's an important function. Then it is responsible for oxygen consumption and heat production. So all two are linked. Heat production and oxygen consumption. So you can simply write it is linked with the process of respiration, and it helps to maintain the normal blood pressure and heart rate. So out of 4 or 5 different functions, if you do 2 till 3 major functions, so uh, this is uh, this is sufficient. Okay, did section B start? students started to join the class? Hello? Did section B students started to join the class?
No, miss, I don't think so. They were earlier and they are not here now also.
I saw someone written 1B. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Okay. Now, separately, how the functions can be discussed. T4 is basically thyroxine. T4, like we just discussed that thyroid hormone contain T3 and T4. So T4 is thyroxine and T3 is triiodothyroxine. You should know their full forms. The thyroid produce a large amount of T4 hormone, and it play an important role in different parts of the body. Triiodothyroxine T3, it is more potent and active form of thyroid hormone. So if examiner asks you what is the more potent and active form uh, of thyroxine, so you should know out of T3 and T4 triiodothyroxine is more potent. There is one particular more secretory substance is produced from thyroid hormone, that is uh, calcitonin. This hormone is produced by C cells. Calcitonin, this hormone is produced by C cells and it works to lower the calcium level by inhibiting the bone breakdown. So, calcitonin is basically a substance when we have the low calcium level. Sometimes we feel proud about it. I don't have milk and calcium sources in my diet, but still I am perfectly okay. You don't know at what cost you are okay. The calcitonin is playing a role and it is continuously softening your bone and breaking your bone. So the calcium is added in your bloodstream as per required. So this is something alarming that we need to understand, that if we have the enough amount of dietary calcium, so calcitonin will not do the bone proliferation or bone breaking. Now, most of the time, closer to exam, you ask that what type of diagrams are important and from
मिस मुझे
gland.
कुछ बोलना था।
Yes, please.
हमारा जो 9th लेक्चर है वो एयर का नहीं था।
I have made some change in it. We'll
ओ
continue in the class.
ओके। और मिस हमारी जो क्लास है ना वो 10 बजे स्टार्ट होनी थी, तो ये कंबाइंड सेक्शंस की हो रही है या फिर क्या है?
No, no, it's a separate. Your class will be conducted at the same time. So I suggest section B students to take the class at their own timings.
ओके, थैंक यू।
Also, that's why I'm wondering that why 51 students, this is not your class 10. Section B students are requested to leave.
ओके, थैंक यू।
Okay. So sometimes you ask about that, how such complicated diagrams will be included. From glance point of view, we are showing you diagram to know how does they look like, how do they look like, and what is their position. This information is sufficient. This all labeling is not important. What is important? That thyroid gland location. This is the trachea. This is our respiratory tract. At at the base of neck, there's a butterfly-like structure. This is the thyroid gland. And within the thyroid gland, can you see these four dotted structures? Can you see these four dotted structures embedded in it? These are basically parathyroid glands. So the purpose of this particular diagram is to make you identify that what is the shape and location of thyroid gland and where parathyroid gland is located and what is the function. Parathyroid glands are two pair of small glands embedded in the surface of thyroid gland. Do you agree with this diagram? There are two pair of small glands. They are embedded in the thyroid gland. Do you agree with this description?
No, it's four. It's four.
No, two pairs, beta. One pair and two pair. They are not four pairs. Is it correct? Is that okay, beta? They are saying parathyroid gland are two pairs. Means there are four structures. I don't mind saying it four, but ideally two pair, one pair on each side. They release parathyroid hormone which regulate the calcium level.